you could wrap up your conversation. It is 12 noon. It's actually 12:01, so we're going to get started here. 12:02. We never start late. But we're having some technical difficulties here, so we'll let them work that out behind us. And how's everybody doing today? Doing all right? Happy to be here? All right, thanks for being here, everyone. This is LA2M. We are a marketing education group. Is there anyone here for your very first LA2M? Any very first timers? Welcome, welcome. They say you always remember your first time at LA2M. It's a wonderful experience, hopefully very enjoyable and pleasurable. But we do meet every Wednesday, and this mic needs to be a smidge louder. Shane, do you know how to turn this up? It's the handheld mic. It's in the back. It says handheld. Just turn it up just a little bit. One of those knobs on the left-hand side. So anyways, we meet here every Wednesday, and we are a nonprofit group. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. Thank you, Shane. Anyways, we bring in great speakers. We teach about marketing, so it's good. People often find business connections here, so the format of the meeting is the speaker gets to talk, and then there's time for Q&A, and then at 12:45 you get to introduce yourself. So, you know, who you are, your company, if you're looking for something, maybe you're looking to hire somebody, maybe you're looking for a new opportunity, you can share that with the group at 12:45, and we always finish at 1. So, and my name is Derek. I should introduce myself, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing, a local inbound marketing agency, and this is Stacy Collick up here from Dollar Bill Printing, your local digital print source. Some quick points of business. There are cards on the table. You can take these. Okay, these are to give to friends, and they have links to our Facebook, our LinkedIn, and our Twitter. And Stacy's company, Dollar Bill, printed them up. There's also some cards that talk about sponsorship. So if you do want to sponsor, don't want to lose out. We love sponsors. Sponsors really keep us going. You know, this is a complete nonprofit volunteer organization, so we all volunteer our time to be here, and sponsors help pay the bills, and also, because we do have some hard costs, also we pass the hat. So as you know, there's no fee to be at LA2M. It's free to come. If you want lunch, it's $10 that goes to Connor's. And we pass the hat, which we suggest a $5 donation if you have it. You don't have to donate every week, but if you want to, that kind of helps support the bills. And Stacy's our treasurer. She takes the money straight to Bank of Arbor. It helps kind of cover our hard costs. We also have sponsors every month, and this month we have an amazing sponsor. I hope you guys have gotten a chance to check out the AND magazine. Anyone looked at that? The AND? A wonderful publication. And Myra, would you like to talk about it?
Just a second. Hey, as most of you know, I'm Myra from the AND magazine, and we are a printable print and digital magazine. Our print publication is monthly and news, and we are included as an insert into the New York Times once a month, and the Wall Street Journal once a month, and the Ann Arbor News, and the Washington County Legal News. So our distribution method is through other media. We are presently working on the Indie Award issue, which is the July issue. So we're working with Think Local First. If you are not a Think Local First member, think about it. If you want to help support Think Local First, the Indie Award issue, the July issue is a good time to either sponsor or advertise. It's just a really good local publication about local businesses and entrepreneurs, with an increased circulation from 20,000 to 30,000.
Great, thank you, Myra. And I'm going to turn on the AC real quick. We'd like to turn it up before the program starts. Turn it down so it doesn't blow all during the meeting. All right, so that's stop there. So, what else? We are tweeting this. We're live tweeting this. Any Twitter users out there? People tweet? Yeah, still? Good. So bust out your phones and you can tweet along. Use the hashtag LA2M. And Shane and Tyler are going to be tweeting from the back from LA2M, so they'll be happy to retweet you as long as it's reasonably intelligent what your tweet is. They'll retweet you. That's our category. But yeah, follow us on Facebook. Join the LinkedIn group. We have a pretty large LinkedIn group. And we also have a really large mailing list. Our mailing list goes out to, it's almost 2,000. We're right around 2,000 members. So the mailing list goes out to 2,000 people every month. And if you are a sponsor, you get a nice banner ad on the newsletter that goes out to 2,000 people. So if you're looking to generate leads within Southeast Michigan, kind of a heavy marketing crowd, people like you, then advertise with us and be a sponsor. So talk to Mary Lou or myself if you want to do that. Every meeting we give a t-shirt to our speaker. So we're going to present this real quick and we'll do a quick photo.
Too close to the speaker.
Yeah, the speaker is back. Okay.
Quick photo op. Like with your background.
Okay, thank you. This is yours to keep. All right. So, anyways, we give us a t-shirt. Duncan Van Arbor supplies those for us to Duncan Van Arbor. That mic is being temperamental. It should be okay on. Will it fit in your pocket? Do you have a pocket? Or are you going to hold it?
You're standing right underneath.
Are you going to set it there? Okay, great.
Well, behind you.
What would you like me to do?
No, she might be okay, Carter. This is all we got. We are low tech today. We are MacGyvering it because I think someone broke the projector, so we're MacGyvering it. So please bear with us. And then our fans in Iceland, please bear with us for any technical difficulties. We have a large overseas population that likes to watch these. All these are archived. These are all archived at LA2M.org. So, anyways, without further ado, Christy is the president. CEO of Martopia Public Relations, and she's going to give us some really good tips on PR for business. And let's give her a warm round of applause and welcome her to LA2M.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up. Well, excuse us for, I personally brought my own technology problems to today's event, and as we were just saying, we're going to MacGyver it today. If my computer, it has a bent power cord, so if it stops, I'm just going to keep talking. I know the presentation anyway, so don't despair. Today we're going to be talking about the bright side of PR, and as a PR practitioner, I would like to say that lots of PR is very bright and happy and helpful. Sometimes, though, it's associated with not so good news. People have certainly in their memory banks many examples of those kinds of things. Certainly the Enron, Gulf of Mexico example always comes to mind for me when the CEO of that company just wanted his life back. That was a real PR fail that day. And so, there are many examples where PR isn't done as well as it could be. But what we're going to talk about today are those bright and shiny examples where we have the opportunity to use PR not only internally in our companies to help create a culture of caring, but then to take that out into the communities in support of causes and charities or employees who are doing something for the common good or for the good of a particular organization or cause. So this is one of my favorite topics. So we're going to start by talking about internal PR versus external PR, and sometimes people will call this internal communications, and it really kind of depends on what the utilization is of the skill set and how it might be. Okay, so see, that's okay. I've got it memorized. Thank you. How are you supposed to call that, until 2015 or so?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that, and then we'll spend a little time talking about external communications and how to do that in a very classy and careful way so that you don't look like you're, using some charity or other good cause for the wrong reasons, right? All right, so click to edit master slides. There we go. All right. We just have to have a sense of humor about this all today, right? All right, great. Well, certainly internally, managers are the most important audience for employees, right? So all the employees have their eyes on the leaders or the managers because that's where they kind of get their marching orders. They find out how they're doing in the organization, whether or not they did the right thing, the wrong thing, the best thing. and whether or not they did it well. But conversely, employees are the most important audience for the leaders of the company as well. So there's sort of this mutual feedback loop that has to occur internally in order for the organization to perform the way that it's intended to. In the classical, or what I'll call the old-fashioned model, communications is primarily one way, right? With communications flowing down the hierarchy to the masses, to the employees. Have any of you worked in a big corporate environment in the last 10, 20 years or so? Yeah? Does this sound familiar to you a little bit?
Yep.
Right, so same thing with me. I worked in a Fortune 200 corporation for about 20 years, and at least half of the time, my job was to listen and go do. But over time, what we found is that there was a shift. There was a slow, very slow change. It's kind of the people out there who were my way or the highway, and I had a boss that literally had that on his door, my way or the highway. Didn't invite a lot of collaboration, right? That did slowly change over the years, and the quality of work life, not only the quality of work life, but the motivation and the feeling of goodwill towards the company changed correspondingly. Because, at least in my case, and I think I saw the same from others, the more my input was valued and the more my thoughts and my ideas were encouraged, the more excited I got about what I was doing. I was very good at taking orders, but my heart wasn't probably in it as much as when it was a more collaborative relationship. Companies with what we're calling a culture of caring today have really crossed the bridge from those autocratic communications days where it was my way or the highway, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue, at least not between what you might call the upper echelon and the lower echelon of employees in the hierarchy. Today, the view of internal communication, at least in a more contemporary view of internal communications and internal public relations, is one that values transparency, openness, honesty, flexibility, social concerns, ethical communications and behavior, environmental responsibility, all the things that you would think of that most of us do value in today's world. Those companies, however, that try to create a culture of caring without this kind of contemporary perspective around communications will find that it doesn't resonate with employees. It's that dissonance between what you say and what you do, right? So in the contemporary model, companies recognize that success in the corporation is not just about doing a great job with your assigned tasks or meeting goals or accomplishing big wins, but it's really grounded in the relationships that you form in your company environment. It's about teamwork. It's a lot more about the relationships you have, not only with coworkers, but that sense of teamwork you have with your boss or your leadership team, and that sense, again, that you're valued, they value you, you value them. There's a sense of mutual respect there. So internal PR, when you set about really thinking strategically about internal PR, you have to do it in the context of recognizing that there is that quality of relationships in a culture of caring that is significant, and that it's a part of what makes that culture work, makes it tick, because people care about each other. They might not go out and, party on the weekend together, but there is that closeness associated with working each day towards a common cause, a common goal, and those shared wins when things go well, and even sort of, that shared empathy when things don't go so well. So companies that are interested in trying to build a culture of caring will take these relationships into consideration and be very cognizant, not only in the way they communicate, but in the way they continue to foster and encourage those kinds of relationships within the company. So to create a culture of caring, as I said, you have to focus on this idea of relationships. That truly is the way that companies in a contemporary approach are operating, and it's the reality, whether or not senior leaders are cognizant of it or not. That is the reality in today's contemporary environment, especially when you move away from perhaps a assembly line or manufacturing environment where people do tend to be isolated throughout their day. Even so, that doesn't mean that there can't be ways of helping groups get together, teams work together towards solving a problem, improving productivity, whatever it might be. But in some of those environments, that kind of activity has to be fostered and provided for by the leadership, or it won't happen by natural causes, we'll say. Also, when you're doing internal PR to try and create that culture of caring, there has to be some sense of connection between what you're doing inside the company and how it matters on a macro level. Especially when we're talking about cause-related kinds of activities, it's easy for people to feel like my drop in the bucket really doesn't matter until the leadership team or the team that's working perhaps in specific capacities across a particular initiative or multiple initiatives help put that into context for the employee group so that they see that there really is no effort that's wasted. There are lots and lots of examples of that. We'll talk a little bit about some specific examples. But keep in mind that in order for a culture of caring to occur, people have to get some sense that there's a cause and effect and that it's positive and something that I personally can buy into. Finally, one of the things that, and there's a reminder here, so don't forget about this. I'm not going to back it up now. There we go. The other thing that companies can do is find those in-house champions, those people who are either passionate about a cause or just passionate about trying to contribute to this idea of a culture of caring. Whether it's just being gentler, kinder, with one another, whether it's fostering better relationships and communications with small groups or small group activities or projects that you can work on, or again, it could be some sort of charitable activity or investment or event, whatever it might be. There usually are people within the organization that care a lot about that particular either that particular organization or effort or result in particular, even if they don't associate the result with any particular organization. So companies who are trying to create this culture of caring, if you can identify those people who are just naturally passionate about a topic or about this idea of caring within the corporate culture, those people, get those on board, get those folks on board. They're good communicators. They're the ones that can sort of pass the word one-on-one, eyeball to eyeball, as opposed to, everybody kind of harshly reading the company newsletter or something like that. Again, going back and just emphasizing again that these kinds of cultures are really established through personal connections, much more so than corporate communications as you might think of it in terms of emails or information on a website, that kind of thing. The thing that you have to do, of course, is strike that really careful balance when you're trying to get employees to engage either in a cause or an event or an idea, because people really do feel like, oftentimes they're a little bit suspicious of their employers, and hopefully that's not the case everywhere, but I know it's the case in a lot of places. And in my big corporate environment, there were always regular reorganizations and acquisitions, mergers, divestitures, that kind of thing that kind of kept people on edge a little bit. And folks were not so trusting because a lot of those things where confidentiality up to a certain point was required because of non-disclosure agreements and that sort of thing, employees sometimes felt like things were sprung on them, and they might have been talking to their supervisor this morning who just smiled and didn't say a word, and this afternoon, 800 jobs are lost, or whatever it might be. So you have a situation where there can be a sense of distrust, and I think, again, this might be more true in those sort of larger or multi-location organizations where you really don't lay eyes on the leaders, maybe never, in some cases, depending on your job and how often they're out in the field. Nonetheless, when you're trying to communicate, when you're working in an internal environment to create this culture of caring, there's a part of most people that really want their company to be that kind of company. They want their company to be one that they can feel proud of, that they can point to in terms of the kinds of things they're involved with and their practices, their investments, in terms of how they support employees who are getting involved in activities, the teams that go work on, a house for Habitat for Humanity, or the group that does the breast cancer awareness run. Those are the kinds of companies that make you feel good about being associated and working for a company like that. However, there are those people who already feel maxed out. They've got kids at home and, dogs in the backyard and a long commute and work up to here. And so they feel like they don't have anything else to give, especially in terms of time and perhaps in terms of money. So these people who don't feel that it's the right time for them to participate, or maybe they're doing other things in their personal lives, they should never be made to feel like, what's wrong with them. First of all, of course, in any kind of company organization or company endorsed sort of charity, you would never reveal who's participating and who's not if you're really smart and paying attention to what's appropriate and inappropriate. But still, you have to be aware that there could be some peer pressure as well. For example, in my case, I sponsor a couple of kids in other countries through organizations that provide food and support services and that sort of thing. Well, if I didn't just say that, my company would never know that I'm doing things privately that are not necessarily related to the company, but are very related to my personal interests. So it's important that you're encouraging people, you're getting people excited without excluding people who are unable or unwilling for some reason to participate in any particular kind of initiative. Any questions so far? All right, we're doing well. The computer's still working. Also, and this probably goes without saying, right, but you can't PR your way into a culture of caring. Any kind of culture of caring or culture of teamwork or culture of positivity, whatever it is, if there is distrust between leaders or between employees or between, your customers and your customer service reps or whatever it is, that's never going to happen unless that trust issue is addressed. And for companies, especially at the senior level, information is hidden a lot from senior leaders for fear that, it's not going to look good if I say something, or it's not going to be in my best interest from a career standpoint in terms of my ability to get further promotions. People just don't say anything. The only thing that you might be able to do in that case is to, again, find those champions that really do believe that there is benefit and there is a positive outcome that can happen if trust can be built or reestablished, and to go out into the organization and to try and determine what's the root of that distrust and start putting a plan into place to try and rebuild trust between the constituents that are at odds with each other or distrustful of each other. That's sometimes easier done in a smaller organization than it might be in a larger organization that's more far-flung. However, on the other side of the coin, smaller organizations where everybody knows each other might be even more sensitive to sharing with anybody because, well, we all know each other, and how do I know you're not going to leave here and get on the phone with Sally, that kind of thing. So trust is something that doesn't happen just because you ask for it. It happens over time. It requires intentionality. You have to actually care about the employees. You have to pay attention to the things that are important for them, support them in their efforts, be truthful, honest. You have to have integrity. And if you have those things, trust over time will certainly become more and more evident in your organization. And if those things aren't in place, you are not going to be trusted. I might come and do my job. I might do it very well. But when you try and start talking to me about a culture of caring, I'm going to smile and go like this and roll my eyes as I walk out the door, right? So a big deal there. Okay. So my first question for you is, what companies, particularly Ann Arbor-based companies, have you observed that you believe have done a good job of creating a culture of caring? Ann Arbor-based companies. Singerman's, why do you say that?
They just work for the American people, people happy, and people are very comfortable because of that. Just really caring.
And the president said that, they're really good with their employees, right? And he kind of went to lunch there, so that's an indicator, right? Any others you can think of?
Ann Arbor Brewing Company.
Tell me more.
They just also are just so community oriented, but they also have a reputation of being great with their employees, and they just really put their, they don't seem hypocritical at all in their efforts.
So they really mean it. Kind of comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ann Arbor Brewing, Singerman's. Others that you can think of? Yes.
Menlo Innovations.
I've heard of them. Menlo, right?
Yeah, they're right over on Liberty.
Okay, tell me more about that company.
It's all one floor. There's no office spaces. They work in teams of 2, and your partners rotate every week so you can teach each other skill sets.
Great.
You bring your pets and your kids to work, and they're really involved in the community and things like that.
That's awesome. That's very good. Those are the kinds of things that, well, as somebody who brings pets to the office here and there that are very excited to see my coworkers and snag their clothes and things, you have to kind of be careful with the pets idea. But yeah, being family friendly and recognizing that pets can sometimes be a big part of a family, right? That can be very positive. Are there others? Yes.
I think, I don't know if everyone knows this one, but New Step.
New Step. What do they do?
They make the recumbent cross-trainer exercise machines, and they're right out on State Street. It's a family-owned company, and they do a lot for their employees. It's a real good culture, I think. Very healthy culture because it's a physical fitness company, and they do lots for the families. And it reminded me when you were talking about some of the examples.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really important. Again, we talked about family friendly, pets friendly, health and fitness friendly, and making sure to respond not only to needs that the employees have to be healthy, but in our case, we have a resident health guru, I'll call her, Tasha. And she just really makes us all aware of things day in and day out that has really changed our lives in many cases, made a big difference. So also having an opportunity to hear those people and again identify those people who are sort of a champion for an issue, make sure that they're heard, right? Well, those are all very good examples, and Zingerman's is actually the one that I thought of. Has anybody ever been to the Zing training that they do? Yeah. So I actually went to a training session not long ago about training and how to make training successful, and the fact that most training actually doesn't stick at all. Maybe 90% of it doesn't stick once the employee goes back to their job. But in the case of Zing Train, nobody gets trained unless there's an agreement with their supervisor about what they will learn, how it will be reinforced, how they'll have the opportunity to practice their new skills, and a reporting back from their supervisor. So both the employee sort of signs an agreement to, commit to utilize their skills and attempt to apply them, but also their supervisor. Because as you know, a lot of times people will go get trained and then they'll get back, and what happens? Kind of get overwhelmed with the workload that sat on your desk while you were gone, right? And back you go into your old habits. So I thought that was a very interesting and meaningful example of having a culture of caring really at the top and all the way through the organization. All right, it's not going to give up on trying to restart, but I'm going to keep charging through. What national companies are you aware of that you believe have done a good job creating a culture of caring? And what is the evidence of that? Yes?
Well, I would say Southwest Airlines, they're stumbling right now, but they've been the model for several international companies, the whole corporate culture. When I was in the industry, they were the only ones that made money.
Really?
Yeah.
I really love flying Southwest just because they make me laugh and they're cheerful and they seem happy about their jobs, and that's sort of an indication right there.
Exactly.
Something good is afoot at Southwest. What are some of the others? Yes?
Costco. I think.
Costco.
Yep. Well, first of all, they really do a great job of sourcing out great companies and even some smaller companies. But the way they treat their employees, they are really known for paying really well and not really being dictated by, even though they're a public company, they don't let Wall Street dictate what they pay their employees and everything. I just think that's amazing.
That's pretty impressive. Because for publicly traded companies, for companies, leaders not to feel compelled to move the needle on their stock price at sort of the expense of everything else is very impressive. There's a lot of pressure, stockholder pressure there for leaders to pull costs into line or grow revenues, whichever it takes to move the stock price. So that's the kind of pressure that is really impressive to see companies kind of say, yeah, but the employees come first. That's very impressive. Others? I saw some, yes.
Yes, Zappos.
Apple?
Zappos.
Zappos,
The online shoe clothing retailer. They're known for having their employees, especially the customer service segment of their group, they can decorate their workspaces with however they want to, obviously within reason, but they can express who they are. So they're free to express who they are, what they enjoy, what they believe in, and that's kind of helped foster a lot of strong relationships between employees, but also from an employee to a customer standpoint.
I like that. We like self-expression. Who else has an idea or a thought about a national company that's done well in this regard? Yes.
C.H. Robinson.
C.H. Is that an accounting firm?
Actually, they're a logistics firm.
Logistics firm.
Yeah, the managers don't have offices. They're in the same area of the business with their team. Each person there always has a backup. So if they can't answer the phone, if they've gone to get a cup of coffee, there's always someone there that knows what they're doing and can answer a question for a customer.
Wow, that's amazing customer service focus.
But they're also doing it to benefit that other person as well.
I was going to say, it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off, right?
Yeah, so
I can.
They're very team oriented.
That's great. That's a really good example. Are there others? Well, I was going to tell you that there is something actually called a reputation index. Have any of you guys heard of that? It's an index that looks at things like corporate responsibility and culture of caring and that sort of thing. And who do you think the #1 company is in the top 10 of national or global corporations in that regard? Any ideas?
Google.
Google is not #1. It's #6 though. It's in the top 10 for sure. Apple is not #1, but it is in the top 10.
Ford.
No, but there are some car companies like Daimler and BMW are in the top 10, 2-car automakers, yeah. Starbucks. I would vote for Starbucks, but no, they're not even in the top 10. The #1 company is actually Microsoft. which wouldn't have occurred to me, and that's probably because I don't know a great deal about their, the corporate inner workings of Microsoft. But yeah, Microsoft, and they say really they kind of grew up with that culture. Then next is Google, and Disney is another one that's very well known for being very generous in terms of corporate giving. Yes, go ahead.
What about Intel? Are they on there?
They're not on here. No. Let's see here. I'll just go through them for you, okay? There's Microsoft, Google, Disney, BMW, Apple, Daimler, Volkswagen, Sony, Colgate-Palmolive, who does a lot with dental care for kids in third world countries, and Lego is number 10. So not necessarily the ones you would think of, but certainly, I think that's interesting that we wouldn't necessarily be aware of that unless we went looking for it. So, all right. Well, let's move on and talk a little bit about external communications, or PR. So, first of all, PR, we should just go ahead and say that external PR, just like internal PR, should have certain qualities or characteristics in order to be effective at all. Some of those are that, you must be ethical and honest, transparent is very important. Those characteristics, in today's world, people have sort of a radar about what rings true and what rings like a spin, right? And, unfortunately, we see a lot of spinning going on, particularly from politicians. I think we might be able to agree there. Politicians will say one thing, and then, the media or somebody finds out other information, then they spin what they said the first, that kind of thing creates a lot of distrust around public relations as a field. Also, the other thing is that it's not just transparency and honesty, but being overtly self-promotional can, especially in this category where we're talking about perhaps charitable giving and other kinds of things that are being talked about by a corporation, can sort of flip backwards on you if people feel like you gave this money only so that you can go brag about it to your friends or your customers or whatever it is. People are willing for you to give the money, but it doesn't have the PR, the positive PR impact for your company if it's not handled properly. Certainly you want to use PR to the extent that you can to promote good causes, and especially to talk about employees that have done a great job or done something special in this area. It's a great thing to do, and we would certainly encourage that. However, there are a number of ways that companies can convey their culture of caring in ways that are a little more tasteful, right? For example, one of the things that a company can do is actually support events or initiatives through sponsorship. These events, these organizations, the events, the fundraising events that they do and so forth cost a lot of money, a lot of volunteers, a lot of effort, a lot of contributions from vendors and suppliers and that sort of thing. So a sponsorship is a little understated. Usually get your logo or maybe on a banner or a t-shirt or whatever it is. But believe me, people, especially in that in the area that you're supporting, let's just say if it's diabetes research, for example, and they've got family and friends that have diabetes, they note that logo and they will definitely tell others. You'll have sort of that positive word of mouth, as well as the people who actually see that you're supporting that particular organization. You can also establish your own event or initiative. It takes a little bit more effort and certainly some investment in resources and people power and that kind of thing. However, I have a friend whose daughter had I think she's maybe 15. She had a heart attack the other day on the soccer field, and her heart stopped beating, and thankfully she was in a place where there was a CPR trainer who was able to get her back to life. She was life-flighted to U of M and all that kind of thing. she's been there. She's going to have open heart surgery with a congenital heart defect from birth. However, I've got a 13-year-old daughter who's going to go to our neighborhood, our farmers market with her 4-H club, and they're going to sell things that they make. They're going to make cookies and that sort of thing for Emily to help defray the cost of the hospital expenses. So just don't think that it has to be something so huge and so big that it becomes its own monster rather than something positive or good. Even a couple of kids in 4-H can make a difference, and it's a positive difference because not only are they, gathering their pennies and dollars, but they're making aware in that community that there is a financial need for that particular family. Yes?
They're just saying there's 5 minutes left.
Okay, so I'm going to go really fast. I have no sense of sight. Again, you can sponsor employees for what they're doing. If you have an employee that's running, they ask if you would be willing to, give them, some money for every mile they run, that sort of thing. Anytime you can, or their basketball team, or their softball team, whatever, that's always a very positive thing. You can also issue challenges to other companies to match your donation or your activity, or, see if you can both build a house for humanity. Let's see, actions speak louder than words, that visibility, you actually being there building the House for Humanity is much more impactful than the press release that you'll put out, right? We talked about the Ann Arbor companies and the national companies, and so shine your light by building a culture of caring within your company. Support your employees that are doing good work out there in their communities, and make a difference in your community through causes, either corporate endorsed or just with a culture of caring by cheering your employees on to do great things. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for your patience with all this.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that Microsoft was the #1 company because Microsoft was on my mind a lot during the presentation. But we do have, does anybody have a question for Christine? Yeah.
That was a very nice presentation, thank you. So we're a little company and we send out a mailer twice a month. And we've always put the logos of the nonprofits that we help throughout the year. Conquering Cold and Children's this and that. So are you saying get that off of there?
No, I think that's very understated, and I think that people want to hear about that. For example, I was on Amazon the other day and found out that I can go to AmazonSmile.com and it'll round up my money and donate to a cause of mine. So not everybody, but I want to know. A lot of people do want to know, that they're working with companies that have a culture of caring. So just don't, beat the drum and, the fireworks and all that.
You just put their logos on there.
No, I think that's awesome.
Right. Who else has a question? Anyone? Well, I love this because I think it's great for us to think about that. How can we give back to the community? How can our companies give back? I guess I'm curious, what's a good example of maybe a local company that you feel has done a good job of doing this caring initiative? I know you gave us a few, but any that we haven't covered.
Yeah, well, in our case, we've spent all of our time in Ann Arbor working with clients that are national in scope. So we haven't spent a lot of time working with Ann Arbor companies until the last few years. But I think I had to mention Zingerman's because I was in their organization, had the opportunity to meet Ari. He signed books, just the culture there is clearly one that's very attentive and caring, and they sort of put their money where their mouth is in terms of the way that they interact with the community and demonstrate that in the work that they do every day.
Great. All right, let's give Christy one more round of applause. And now you get a chance to introduce yourself. So we're going to pass the mic. We ask that you stand up and project and tell us who you are and your company, and then pass it around. We'll get around the room in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine Stevens. I'm with the National Network of Depression Centers on the Director of Marketing and Development. And speaking of causes, one of the reasons that I come to these meetings is, yes, is to get some great education about some things I hadn't thought of, but also because I'm always looking for partners, because depression and bipolar disorder is 1 in 6 in our nation, and there's probably no one in this room who doesn't know someone in their family or friends who've experienced it, and it's really devastating. So we're always looking for partners, because we are a nonprofit, people to help us with some pro bono work, whether if you have a skill and you have someone that's been affected in your family, and you understand this, but we love help, whether it be technology, whether it be writing a press release for us, whether it be anything like that, please let me know. I'd love to involve you in helping you, because it is a national cause.
My name is Brian Schilling. I'm a marketing consultant at Clarity Quest Marketing. We're a full-service agency for healthcare and technology companies.
Hi, I'm Asma Mustafa. I'm from Egypt. I'm working as a marketing consultant. I'm here for a fellowship program with Michigan University. I'm invited today by Craig. And if anyone needs more information or have a client in Middle East, Egypt, in Gulf countries, please just let me know. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Cindy Cleveland. See, after 25 years working in higher ed, I'm exploring some new career options. And so I joined Michigan Shifting Gears, which is a career transition program through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and Sensei Change Associates. My background is in graduate student programming, primarily the last 15 years in sustainability. So as part of this program, I get to do a couple of internships, which is exciting. And so I'm going to be working at TechTown, Detroit, which is Wayne State's accelerator. And for any designers in the room, it's actually an Albert County building, and it's where the Corvette was designed. So I'm going to be doing a project called SWAT City, where we go into neighborhoods in Detroit and help small businesses build their performance. And I'm also going to be helping TechTown with their mentorship program, the mentoring program. So if anyone has been a mentor or is a mentor or a mentee, I'd love to hear your story and share your experience with me, so I can bring best practices to Detroit.
Hi, my name's Yeman Joe. I'm the marketing assistant at Rayle Mall. Hi, I'm Stacy from Dollarville, your local digital print shop. We love to help nonprofits look good and be cost effective.
Hi, I'm Greta Abermetter. I work with Schoolcraft College and their student activities and orientation for student development.
Hi, I'm Ann Abrams. I'm also with the Ann magazine. I'm involved in sales and business development, so if you have any questions about advertising, I'm the person to ask.
Hello, I'm Tracy Hamill. I, like Cindy, am a part of the Michigan Shifting Gears program, career transitioning. Can you hear me? Yeah. So weird. So along with Cindy, I also am looking for a new opportunity. I previously worked in the IT area, took a couple years off, and I'm now re-entering the workforce and looking for some new opportunities in some small business, kind of in the office area, general business, office manager type situations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hiroshi Saito. I own an e-commerce startup company in Cleveland, but I work from Ann Arbor. And I've done marketing for the entire career, but now I do hiring and finance and all that kind of stuff too.
Hi, my name is Ben Taub. I work for a company called DataSpace. We're consultants in the field of business intelligence, which pretty much means we take data that companies already have and add a lot of value to it so they can analyze it and work with it.
Hi, I'm Shane. I'm about to be a senior at Michigan State University, and currently I work under Derek as an intern at Genix Digital Marketing.
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm also a digital marketing intern with Derek at Ingenix.
I'm Bob Shannon. I'm an Ann Arbor Chelsea CPA specializing in helping small high-tech firms with their business plans, financial planning, accounting, and tax. And I also do transportation consulting.
Hi, I'm Todd White. I work for the University of Michigan. I'm a senior software engineer.
Sort of in transition, I got my MBA at the Ross School of Business very recently, and I'm looking to become one of you, a professional marketing person. So I'm actually interested perhaps in what you have going on, so we'll talk later. Thanks.
Hello everyone, my name is James Pavel. I'm a 5th year marketing student at Eastern, and this is my first LA2M event, so thank you for having me. I also run a blog in my spare time called jollygreenranger.com. That's sort of where I post comic book reviews and news sites, so just something to do in my spare time. So if anybody's interested and would like somebody to create content for any sort of website or blog that they would like to start, feel free to let me know. Thank you.
My name is Josh Conroy. I'm a digital marketing consultant. I do freelance work, also available for birthday parties. I recently graduated from college, Eastern Michigan College of Business, graduated with honors, did my undergraduate research on driving traffic to your website using social media. I do social media content creation. Just if it's digital, I probably do it. So if anybody needs a hand or wants to talk about something, come up and get a card from me. I'd love to talk. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jen Downham. I work for Ann State Bank and I'm in charge of electronic banking.
My name is Chris Baker and I'm with Arbor State Bank.
My name is Lori Stratton. I'm an internal communication specialist with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and I'm just interested in connecting with PR marketing professionals to exchange ideas and best practices.
Hi, I'm Tasha Moore with Martopia Public Relations Group, and we work with business-to-business companies as well as business-to-consumer companies to help them get exposure, build their reputations with a focus on growth.
I'm Roger Rayle. I do the live streaming and recording of video here and several other networking events around town. So you'll probably see me again.
I'm Kelly Caesar. I'm also with Martopia Public Relations Group. I'm the account coordinator there. And I do a lot of their social media campaigns and media list building for them.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou up with LA2M, and we're in the process of building our speaker roster for next season. So if you'd like to recommend someone, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Also, I'm a freelance content provider, and if you're interested in those types of services, also let me know about that as well.
Hi, I'm Carter Sherlin, Product Print Studios. I'm a commercial editorial and portrait photographer. Almost everything from small products, portraits to teaching relays or shot if we're set up for doing exhibitions. The pictures I shoot at these meetings go up on the group's Facebook page. I try to get them up within a day or two. I still haven't gotten last week's up. It's been a crazy last couple of weeks. State, high school, regional track meets, national, and the senior PGA golf championship. Among other things I'm shooting. Hopefully I'll be caught up before Saturday when the state meet. And I add another 1,000 or 2,000 pictures to my collection to be processing.
Thank you, Carter. You gotta like the clean shaven look. Carter's shaved his beard.
It's the summer.
Yeah, the summer cut. Yeah, he's always out shooting all these races.
Unfortunately, I was driving out a couple days before I shaved, so the hat is as much a cover that I have stripes.
He has tan lines.
Yeah, I have golfer tan from chasing golf.
All right, so so my name is Eric Marivon, CEO of Ingenix Digital Marketing. I asked, we are looking for a new account person, so if you know any account people that are looking out there, talk to me. And next week we have an